go, baby. Let's grow this thing one way or another. Yeah, appreciate everybody for tuning in to the nation. We're going to get this thing going one way or another as we begin to talk about this. Not going to be a long episode at all, but I just want to be able to talk to you guys about the play calling. 105.3 The Fan, excellent radio station that you can get a lot and tons of information from. Especially if you're in the Dallas area, if you're not listening to 105.3 The Fan, I don't know what you're doing with yourself, especially if you follow the Cowboys. So with that being said, we're going to listen to what they have to say, and I'll go back and forth with you all, and then we can do a quick Q&A, things of that nature. But before we start, hit the like button, share the content, join the notification squad, because that's how we get down. I had to run Grandpa Law off so you don't see Grandpa Law right now, right? But let's go, baby. I'd like to appreciate everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that share button. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling, okay?
I'd do it for you.
Yes, indeed.
Just how predictable is your Cowboys offense? I think a lot of fans are going to be sitting in their cars or at the office or at home saying, yup. And you're going to be able to call out and fill in the blank as to what we're about to discuss, just like you do on game day.
Right.
Sean, RJ, Troy, and Roy on DFW Sports Station. One of your final chances to win $1,000 is coming up in 15 minutes. Jerry Jones live at 9:20. So this cover1.net website has been breaking down the tendencies.
Oh, go to cover1.net website. Go to that website. They got tons of information too. They even shared some of my information, but also go to their site. They got tons of information whether it relates to the Dallas Cowboys content, all 22, because we know we love the all 22 because the film never lies, right? With the eyes in the sky. When you look at the all 22, it would tell you everything. Shout out to you, Karen. I see you on the YouTube. I see you down there, Karen. Shout out to you. And number one Cowboy fan, I see you too.
This is the Cowboys offense. I saw it last year, and we have one for you this year during their bye week. What a tremendous piece of work this is. Great research, amazing analysis. Now, there's a lot of numbersy stuff in here, so all three of us have poured over it to simplify it as much as possible. But we wanted to give you an idea of what the Cowboys have been doing offensively and figure out what we should question to try to reverse the struggles and the problems. So we'll start off with this. Pre-snap motion, okay? Putting someone in motion, changing the defense, letting them see something differently. Tony Romo has talked about it, and other people from the Ringer or the Athletic, they've talked about the lack of motion in the Cowboys offense. It's just simple. Go out there, line up, and stay in one spot and go ahead and beat your man.
There you go. 90s football, baby.
440 pass attempts this season. The Cowboys have used pre-snap motion only 90 times. That's 20%. 20% of their pass plays, pre-snap motion. To give you an idea, and we'll compare this, as Jerry would want to do, to the Rams. At Denver, 34% of the time, they're using motion. Okay? So just keep this in mind. 34% of the time for the Rams. We do it 20% of the time on the season so far, 13 times a game. In the 3 wins the Cowboys have had, they use pre-snap motion offensively 15 times a game. In the 4 losses, 9 times a game. So there's a little bit of a disparity. Formations. Condensed formations. Whether you're going to stack wide receivers, whether you're going to change things up. Scheming guys open. Of the 440 pass attempts that the Cowboys have had this season, only 37 of them have come from condensed formations. The Rams in week 6. Now, again, guys, we realize you're comparing the Cowboys, one of the most boring offenses in the league, to the best of the best. It's like comparing, Garrett stuff to Belichick. It's unfair, but we're just giving you a comparison.
Yeah, there's good and bad ones. I mean, there's all kinds of comparisons. Like that Rams offense uses motion like crazy.
Well, all right, so before they go into details of it, we do know that the philosophy is of any team, you got to stick firm to your philosophy. Now, looking at Jason Garrett, he comes from a coaching tree of you have to use Jimmy Johnson. Now, if you go back all the way, we have to use Jimmy Johnson, right? That's the guy that he played for. You can argue the fact maybe Barry Switzer, maybe you can throw in the guy Nick Saban. But we're going to go all the way back to the origin of things. He goes by the philosophy of Jimmy Johnson because that's what won it for us in the 90s, right? And I do know that a lot of people say, hey, Law, can you just stop talking about the 90s? It's a new millennium, for crying out loud. But this is the thing. A lot of times when you look at coaching trees, it just don't change. We can see some similarities with the coach Andy Reid. He comes from the 49ers old system, So if we can look at, too, the Green Bay Packers, the old 49ers system, you guys can go ahead and mention the coach's name, but neither here nor there. This is the thing. In the 90s, you line up your players and you say, okay, I'm going to use my physical talent and I'm going to beat you because I'm going to line my guys up mano a mano against your guys, and you can't stop it. There was nothing spectacular about Troy Aikman's offense, the one that he operated and ran. It was nothing spectacular what Troy Aikman did behind center, running the Jimmy Johnson system. Now, a lot of times, with the new age worlds and things of that nature, if you don't try to change, then sometimes you can be stuck in that same mindset. And we saw that sometimes it will work. Look at the Jacksonville Jaguars game. There was nothing special that we did. It was just more so that our guys executed, and we're going to hear that execution a lot. Now, as far as scheme, you can scheme guys open. You can find ways to get guys open, meaning that if this guy is naturally 6'8" and he needs to get clear space, but he cannot create separation on his own, so what you do, you motion, you move him across the board, and you figure out who's got a man-to-man. Will it be the true sets of a cover two? Where are the soft spots in the zone? How can you rotate this guy? How can you motion this guy up? Can you line up a 13 personnel? Can you move it around to a 10 personnel? Those type of things that you can scheme open to get your receivers a better chance to throw the ball and a better chance to catch the ball when the ball is hitting them in open spaces. Or you can play strong suit to your quarterback, whether it be RPOs, whether it be running in bootlegs, your naked bootlegs, your wiggles, your waggles. All those things can help out a young quarterback too. But it's all about your scheme and it's all about your philosophy. And sometimes philosophies are philosophy. Shout out to you, Andrew. I see you over there on the Periscope, man. Salute to you as well. Christopher, I see you on the Periscope. Oops, upside up your head. Appreciate you on the YouTube. I like that name. Shout out to you. And always a lady. I see you.
Easy, right? One of the best offenses of all time, 04 Colts, never used it. They did not
Colts.
Use motion at all.
But that was 14 years ago.
Right, but that offense was ahead of its time. Like a lot of
You also had Peyton Manning,
who did not like motion. He hated motion. Didn't want any of his receivers ever to go in motion.
Yeah, well, when you have Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne and Edgerrin James, you can line up and beat. That's the problem. You can line up and beat people with Peyton Manning throwing to Hall of Fame weapons.
You feel really good about your man-to-man.
Yeah, we don't have that. So that's why people have been saying you got to be more creative. Mm-hmm. You have to scheme guys open. So scheming guys open with different formations, condensed formations, 440 pass attempts, only 37 times the Cowboys have done it. 37. The Rams in Week 6 alone did it 48 times. So they did it more in one week than we've done it in 7.
Wow.
So just keep that in mind.
Yep.
Tendencies. Condensed formations, when the Cowboys go to it, you know that they're going to throw.
2/3.
89% of the time. Actually, more. 30,
oh, wait, okay, so we're on this one. So,
yeah,
okay,
33 of 37 times the Cowboys threw it out of a condensed formation. That's 89%. The Rams, 52% of the time. So, obviously, 50-50, you're more unpredictable.
What it goes into saying there, too, is that the reason that they throw on this so much is because that formation, because it's condensed and everything's close to the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
I'm sorry, to the offensive line, it brings more guys into the box, so more defenders to cover the run. What they're saying is the best play here really isn't a pass play, it's a toss to the running back. Mm-hmm. And because there's so much room on the outside.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you're able to just toss it to Zeke, Hopefully Zeke would carry the ball in the outside hand on every time. But if you were to toss it to Zeke, just for example, he'd get to the outside. He'd get some chunk yards right there.
And this says they've run one toss or pitch all season.
All season.
One toss.
Well, I mean,
I must admit, you got a guy. That's why I want number 71 to be like a pulling guard. You put him inside, and he can pull. When you talking about a toss sweep, your guys got to get out to that edge. I'm talking about your big guys, your 5, your offensive linemen. And I think that Tyron Smith is athletic enough, and we already know what Connor Williams can do. He's athletic enough. Looney, we know that Looney is athletic enough. For us to do only one sweep, my goodness. Man, those who out there playing Madden, don't y'all do this toss sweep? I know it's Madden, but if we have Ezekiel Elliott, who is a man amongst boys at times, he's fast, he can get to the edge. Toss sweep that baby. You can do misdirection toss sweep. There's so many things. Counter toss sweep. There's a lot of things that you can do. But let's hit play.
When you only had 4 non-throws in the entire year on that formation, yeah, that one toss might be it.
All right, now let's get to the spread.
Yeah, this one is
Spread,
bothersome.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So they've got 440. Now, of course, when the 440 snaps, they adjust this as well for.
I'm sorry, maybe I was saying 440 pass attempts.
No, it's 440 snaps.
Yeah.
So, and the 440 snaps, they've taken out kneel downs and spikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also they've adjusted for when you're trailing late in a game or late in a half, where you don't have time to do a lot of motion. You don't have time to do a lot of this stuff. So they've adjusted some of these things. The 440 snaps, 210 feature a plus or a wide split by both outside wide receivers, okay? And the Cowboys threw the ball on 140 of those 210 plus or wide splits.
Wow.
So basically half of their offensive setups have been this
60%.
one. So a defense knows when they see this particular formation, they've got a 67% chance that they're going to see a pass play.
How many times, I'm hitting pause right here, for those who just not tuning in, go to cover1.com, and they have a lot of information as far as, they do every play-by-play breakdown. With the All-22, they have a lot of time on their hand to do all that. But what 105.3 The Fan is talking about, they are going and recapping the play calling tendencies of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, it can be cons and pros out of tendencies, especially when you're trying to get a big play down the line. 67% of the time when we line up in spread formation, we're going to pass the ball. So we're going to have to figure out the good coaching staff that we have, right? We got a good coaching staff, right? But those on my Facebook panel, I put a poll out there where you can vote whether or not will the Cowboys go to the playoff, yes or no. Just a simple answer. Will the Cowboys go to the playoff, yes or no? According to the NFL.com, we only have a 16% chance. So by chance, we can't make it. It's just that we will have to figure out something. When I see us line up in the spread formation, we probably have to bring back this. Do you guys remember we used to run a draw off of that spread? Just to trick the opposition. We have to start running a little bit draws off of that formation, because when we see the spread, we already know there's going to be a passing play. So I can guarantee you the safety, the linebackers against with the opposition, they're going to say, okay, pass. They're going to yell out their call when they see us in that position or when they see us in that marketing, because it's already 67%. That's not far away from 70%, and you cannot be that lopsided on plays. That's just the bottom line. That's numbers. That's just reality. When you line up in the spread, 67% of the time, Dallas Cowboys will pass the ball. That's not a good thing. That's definitely not a good thing.
This is every team gets a sheet like this on a Monday.
Yes,
and
they
it
do.
tells them, or Sunday, on Monday, and it tells them what the teams do
Tendencies.
in this formation. On a 1st and 5, this team will run this play 63% of the time. They'll run this play this time. And then when they're on a 1st and 10, they'll run this play. Well, it also will have one that tells them when they're in this type of formation,
Spread.
they're going to run a pass play
2/3 of the time.
2/3 of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most teams do this. The Cowboys really don't have an analytics department, so they probably don't even know this.
Lots of single coverage they've been seeing, and they're not beating the single coverage. Now, people have been saying, why don't you stack the receivers? Bunches.
Bunch
Create
formation,
some confusion, a little bit of traffic in the middle. Maybe you get some cornerbacks caught up trying to defend guys, and someone can break away.
When they do that, 53 times they've done it, 49 of them have been Dak throwing. So the predictability, when you see Cowboys receivers in the stack, bunches, they're throwing the football.
No, I don't have I think in that
Screenplay,
formation, it should be leaning towards passing,
Yeah.
but maybe just not as
heavy.
extensively. Like that should be like the 2/3 of the time you probably pass out of bunches. But every now and then, I would like to see you run out of bunch formation because if you think you got good run blocking wide receivers, you can take advantage of that with Zeke.
No, wide receivers don't block.
Who wants one of them to block at all?
Doesn't make you.
I don't want them to block. I want them to catch passes.
Cover1.net with this info on the
Cover
Cowboys
one
offense
dot
so
net.
far this season. Play
I
action.
said .com earlier. Cover1.net.
This is good. Remember
Oh,
last year they
play
were
action.
29th in play action attempts in the NFL.
Hey, play action. I love play action. Why do I love play action? Why do Law Nation love play action? Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session. As we take a deeper look at Ezekiel Elliott, that's why I love play action. You got Ezekiel Elliott. Look, when we go back to the first game we actually won, they did more play action. And the games that we did win on, when we do play action, we rocking that thing. And I like to play action when we are actually lining Dak Prescott under center. You know that everybody's already climbing down up on top. They're trying to stop the run. I love play action. We just don't do it a lot. Shout out to Josh Skinner, the winner, man. Appreciate you, man. Hey, what'd you say? You late? Nah, man. You right on time, man. You right on time. Gregory, shout out to you, man, on the Periscope. Appreciate you.
Of their pass attempts this year, they've run play action on 27% of them. In the 3 wins, they did it 32% of the time. In the 4 losses, they did it 18% of the time. So again, for all of our pass attempts, 27% of the time play action. For comparison, the Rams in week 6, they ran play action 40%.
And as you guys mentioned, he takes out, he describes it as, doing this data sets in the normal course of the game, which, as you said, the last 3 minutes of the second quarter and fourth quarter. But still, to see that in wins, they run play action 32% of the time, and in losses, it's only 18.6%. That difference is big enough that it isn't just, it can't just be quantified in, hey, they were losing, so they had to go out and spread it out and throw. Absolutely.
Great job in this piece. No run game on the road. No run game on the road. So the suggestion here from the data is better run more sweeps. Call more of them on the road because they've been good at sweeps to the outside. Brian brought us all off season. I expect them to go more to the outside. I expect them to get outside the tackle box. More tosses, more sweeps. It's not happening, even though they've had some success with it.
Now, I guess the only thing that I can say, and it's not an excuse, but maybe with the new offensive coach, Mark Colombo, and you bring in Hustle Hawk, maybe we can go to more of a zone type of aggressive look versus the power blocking scheme. Maybe a zone scheme will allow you to do more of those different types of plays and getting the ball onto the outside. One interesting piece that I heard earlier, too, on 105.3 The Fan, was the fact that the play caller, the adjustment that's in the huddle once the ball is under the center, normally it will be Travis Frederick that will point out the mic or point out the blocking schemes and schematics, or however you want to call it, as far as extra protection, extra dropbacks, or pull and release blocking schemes that's out there. We don't have that anymore. We have Looney. And the next person that knows most of this offense will be, as far as a verbal to the other offensive lineman, will be Zach Martin. The problem is Zach Martin is way, way on the right side. He's the right guard. So passing that information down from Looney then to Connor Williams, back over to Tyron Smith could be very convoluted. And he brought up another point saying that Zach Martin, can he play center, and that will alleviate a bunch of this stuff as far as communication. Possibly so, but the problem is with that, once you move the right guard to center, now you have a weak spot at right guard. So it's like damn if you do, damn if you don't type of situation. So the problem is with the Cowboys offense collectively, not everything, but collectively, and certain factors will be Travis Frederick. And I have to use this as a rating because I haven't yet to play Madden in the last 4 or 5 years, to be honest. But when I played, I used to whoop some tail. But they have Travis Frederick as the highest rated Cowboy on the roster, actually. So he's rated like number 96 or something like that. So if you remove that piece, of course you see this offense at disarray. But the only thing that I can say from here, and it's not giving us an excuse, we'll have to see some type of different changes come Monday. We of course, this is a home game, so we will see the communication aspect all up to par. But the next road game, that's where we're going to have our eyes and ears on. We're going to be looking, and we're going to be seeing what the hell is going on. But let's hit play from here. Appreciate you just tuning in to the nation. We listening in to 105.3 The Fan.
The middle of the field for some reason. Again, we're just giving you this for info while you're watching. Moving forward, they're not sticking to the run in the middle of the field. They're throwing in the middle of the field, and then the sacks.
Well, they're throwing to the hardest place to throw with the most traffic. That's what they did last year. The hardest passes to complete are these passes like within the first 15 yards of the line of scrimmage. That's where they throw most of their balls at. Now, the NFL has kind of gone that way in general, where a lot of teams are throwing these short passes and screen passes. But the Cowboys just aren't getting guys as open as the other teams.
Finally, what about the sacks? Of the 23 sacks that Dak has had this year, only 6 came at home. Like, the difference between what they do at home and on the road is scary. So 17 of the 23 sacks on the road.
That's too many.
15 of the 23 has happened with only 4 rushers. What that would lead you to believe is that many of those are on Dak. Now, you have to account for a guy just getting straight up beaten, okay? But this isn't extra blitzes. This isn't the extra linebacker. This isn't a corner blitz. It isn't a safety coming up the middle. This is a 15 out of 23 sacks. 15 out of 23. 4 rushers.
Well, let me break that down too. Just think about this. 4 rushers getting home, typically and normally, there's 5. There's always 5 offensive linemen out there. Always 5. And you can add your running back as an extra blocker too. And then on top of that, if you have a seasoned enough tight end, you can have him back. So that you should always protect your castle. You should always protect your quarterback. You should always protect the person that's going to have the ball majority of the time. So that is very alarming. I like this information so much, guys. For all those sacks to occur just off a 4-man rush, there's 5 offensive linemen regardless. Man, this is some good stuff, man. This is some good stuff. Go to cover1.net to check out some more information.
So that's Dak.
Doesn't make sense.
I think you could probably, but we've seen enough in games. Like, we've seen Dak probably.
He's got a problem holding the football.
He's probably caused 10 to 12. He's probably responsible for that many.
He holds on to it.
Dak Prescott, the way he holds on to the football.
I don't know why he holds on to it more on the road, though. It doesn't make any sense. Like, let it go. Like, just throw the ball. Doesn't make any sense why that would happen so much on the road.
So, bottom line, don't be as predictable when we see a certain formation. More play action, more motions, and condensed formations. That is the suggestion from cover1.net. Fantastic work. Really good. And there's a lot of numbers in there. Don't want to be too confusing, but those are some of the tendencies that you're screaming at your TV or radio anyway on a Cowboys game day. I know it because you tweeted to us, and you're right. The big news is that Mark Colombo, former offensive lineman, is taking over as the offensive line coach. Paul Alexander is out. And Troy, you went back in the archives to pay Colombo a little tribute?
Absolutely. Mark Colombo, of course, went to Boston College. He's a Boston kind of guy. He's probably celebrating the big Red Sox win. But he wanted to celebrate a little Yo Roger Raps way back in the day. Way
Well, they were finna talk about some rapping stuff that he did. But neither here nor there. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in, especially those who are on my Facebook too. I know I have not been giving you guys any shout out, but quick shout out to DQ Cox, Billy. Shout out to you. Who else we have? Lamar, Mac, Lewis, Samuel, Al. Thank all y'all, man. Mark, man, I'm having a whole bunch of y'all up in here. Appreciate all you all that's tuning in. I will read each and every last one of you all comments that's on the Facebook panel as well as the YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button, share the content. Let me know whether you guys think that the Cowboys will make it to the playoffs. We got a 16% chance, and that's all we need is a chance, right? Shout out to YouTube, buddy. That's on me. Periscope, appreciate you for tuning in to the nation. 2010, thank you. Warren Duncan, what's good? Shout out to you, man. Now this is timely topic. Missed my notification. Incognito, man, appreciate you, man, for tuning in to the nation. Continue to regulate over there. Always, lady. Ed Gracia, thank all of you all for tuning in. Don't forget to join this nation by just hitting that subscribe button, following the page. And you can make contributions too by following the Patreon. I do have a podcast that's LAW Nation. Join that podcast if you love what you see. Appreciate you, Stevens, for saying it's a great website. Really appreciate you. I try to give as much content as I can. I really had this all prepared to go yesterday, but I had to get Grandpa Law out the way, right? But my whole point of view of this will be that hopefully, and I'm being very optimistic about this, and I just got to. Hopefully, Mark Colombo, maybe they can switch some schemes around and say, okay, we're going to go to a more of a zone type of blocking scheme, and maybe we can try to get Ezekiel Elliott out in space instead of ramming the head into the brick wall. Maybe that can happen. Maybe we can see whether or not they can do some more. And then, of course, we have Amari Cooper. So what that's going to do, that's going to open up a lot of things that we just don't see. As far as the 8 and 9 man front, even the 7-man pressure that they like to bring to. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, we can win on the outside. I trust number 13 too. I love his skill set. Hopefully he can be able to make something happen this week coming around the corner. And Cowboys defense, the poll just came out. We are actually ranked number 2 overall because we had a bye week, so no scores were scored on us, and we elevated our defense just in a week by not playing. So that's cool. That's good on paper, but we got to get some more turnovers. We must get takeaways. And on top of that, the best thing that I want to happen to Dak Prescott is just get the ball out quicker. He's doing it at home. So come Monday, we're going to see a superb type of play from Dak Prescott, hopefully. That's all we can do. When there's hope in the future, there's power in the presence, right? So let's continue to have this hope that Dak Prescott can get his mind together and just demand to play a good game this come Monday. And then on top of that, that our defense can get stingy enough to take the ball away. And then we can see Amari Cooper not doing a reverse sweeps and jet sweeps, that we can see Amari Cooper taking the top off the defense. That's what we want to see. And just right, Josh Skinner, I see you over there. Elaine, thank you for tuning in. Always a lady, appreciate you. Quest Cowboys 6, what's up? Shout out to you, Christopher Smith. All you guys, Montana 808, Maddie B, Maxwell, getting it down over there. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Hey, as I'm about to wrap and roll and lock loaded and get out of here, I really appreciate everybody. Always keep your head high. Remember, even when you're fighting, I always say this, when you're up against your struggles, meet it squarely face to face, lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge, and do the best that you can do. You may fall. You may conquer, see it through. Even hope may seem but futile, then with trouble may be beset. Remember, you're facing what other legends have met. You already know. You already know who the legends are. And if you know some, put them down in the chat box, the comment box. Put them down in the hot box. Ain't that right, buddy? I see you over there on the Periscope regulating over there. Hey, as we get this thing going one way or another, that's all the time I have for today. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. Let's jam on out of here, baby. Yes. Yes, we live like 95, Jerry Griffin in his thing. Big Country, what's up? I'm gonna have to bring Papa back up in here. Papa Law, Grandpapa Law. Outlaws. Yeah. Samuel, I see you on the Facebook regulating and holding it down. Let's kick this beat back up one more time. There we go. Don't stop on me, beat. Yeah. Salute. Yeah. David Alexander the Great. David Alexander the Great. I see you, man. Juan Wick. Who else? I don't want to leave nobody out. Let me know who I left out for shout outs, man. Who else we got up in here, man? Al, what's up, man? Is this Al? AJ Crossom? John Deere Jr.? Not the original. Need the junior up in here, man. That's what I'm talking about. I love the juniors. What's up? Elaine, Philly, Terry, Corey. What's up, man? I see you on the Periscope. I'm going to read your post. Yeah, post it again. Come over here to the YouTube world. Yeah, let's roll on out of here then. Peace. Y'all subscribe to this channel. Share the content. Join the notification squad. Yeah. Yeah. We out this mug. Peace. I love you all. DC for life. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.